Welcome back to the channel. It's day 24 of our 30-day yoga challenge. And if you're thinking that the title of this video, Yoga for Pregnancy or Postpartum, isn't for you, I'm not pregnant, I never have been and can't get pregnant. You might think that it's totally irrelevant, but actually this is a yoga class that's about learning how to be slow with your body, really appreciate the range of movement that you have, and to work within it. Movement is fantastic for people who are pregnant, and it's especially important postpartum. The reason why I say it's important is because it's really easy for us to get into modes of mind where it's like, if you have any sort of physical issue going on, to say, okay, I'm going to avoid yoga, strenuous activity, or things that could potentially be unworkable. Well, we're not going to get too strenuous with this, but we are going to encourage movement, encourage you to be moving and active, regardless of whether you have just had a child or whether you are currently pregnant with a child. And if you have any physical health issues, for example, maybe you're suffering with a cold or the flu today, maybe you have some chronic pain, or maybe just feeling a bit achy, this is the practice for you. It's about gently learning how to lean into our bodies and feel it. Enjoy the practice today. Let's start this practice by finding yourself in a comfortable seat, Sukhasana. Now, what I'm going to recommend is that you find yourself seated in Sukhasana on the ground. If sitting on the ground isn't workable for you, that's okay. I'm going to give you some adaptations for being in a chair. Now, what we mean by Sukhasana, easy pose, this is meant to be a long-held meditative pose. We're not going to hold it for too long. We're going to get kind of rolling into this yoga practice. But here's what I want you to do. Sitting on the ground with your legs crossed. Now, you may need to lean from side to side in order to move the flesh away from the sit bones so you get a little bit more of a flatter seat onto the ground. If this is already causing some strain and some stress, which it very well might be, go ahead and grab a towel or a pillow and prop yourself up on it. What you want to do is have your pelvis tilted forward so you can sit nice and tall through the spine, but be tilted forward ever so slightly. Alternatively, if sitting on the ground is not accessible to you, I understand. You can sit on a chair with your feet flat on the ground, and let's just go ahead and place our hands on our laps. Take an inhale, press through the crown of your head, breathe in, notice what you're feeling in this moment. Exhale, soften your jaw, soften the muscles around the shoulders. Let yourself be tall, but not rigid. Remember that even trees, with all of their height, they still have a level of flexibility to them. If they're rigid, they break. When the wind blows, trees bend with the wind. Allow yourself to be tall, but not rigid. Allow there to be flexibility in your posture. If you're seated on the floor, reach your hands forward as you hinge at the hip, folding all the way forward, pressing your hands out, and allowing yourself to come into a forward bend. If you're seated on a chair, just allowing your upper body to drape over your legs, over your thighs, and to let your arms hang low. Still in this fold, breathe in. Now, you don't have any lungs in your low spine, so I can't invite you to breathe into your spine. But what I can do is invite you to simultaneously inhale to reach forward, exhale to let your body go heavy, and notice the lengthening through your spine. Noticing the push-pull of gravity weighing you down, and also of your spine, of your pelvis, of everything being held together through connective tissue, bones, skin. Just feeling your body here. Let's take one more inhale, nice and deep in this forward fold. Breathing in, really feeling the body press down as you breathe in, feeling the increased buoyancy, feeling your body get larger. Exhale, breathe out. Let your body go heavy. Feel the weight of your body pressing down. Now, if you're seated on the ground, go ahead and reach your hands forward, spread through the fingers. And if you're seated on a chair, maybe using your shins for some support, inhale, press in, lift up nice and slow, back in to our easy pose, back into our meditative posture here. Let's make our way back down onto the ground from a nice flat seat or stacked on top of some pillows or towels, sit with the soles of the feet facing one another. This means that the knees are going to be bent, splayed out. Now protect your hips here. You may wish to place your hands underneath your knees and lift your knees up a little bit so that they don't overextend. From here, I would like to invite you to just experiment with how deep is workable for you. And how you can tell is, again, once you start putting load onto your system, maybe experiment with really holding your knees up a little higher and then letting them down, letting them down, letting them down. Now, if there's a certain point where you start to feel tension, where you start to feel too much pressure on the hips, right there, easing off a little bit, lifting your knees a little higher is where you're going to want to stop. For me, it's helpful to take blankets or pillows and put them underneath my legs to support my legs so that they're not splayed out as much, to just keep my knees a little bit higher. And you don't need to prop up the knees. You can actually stick the blankets or pillows a little further underneath in order to really get those legs propped up. Now from here, I'm going to invite you to wrap your hands around your ankles. Sit nice and tall, and if you don't have long arms like I do and it's difficult for you to wrap your hands around your ankles, you can go ahead and place your hands over your knees. But find some try that again. Find some length through your spine. Inhaling to press through the crown of your head. And just notice any sensations in this posture. If you need a moment to pause and go ahead and take some pillows or blankets and put them underneath your legs, that's okay too. And wherever your arms are at, whether over your knees or if it's accessible to you being able to wrap your hands around your ankles, let's begin a little bit of a forward fold. Folding forward ever so slightly. And if you notice that your upper body is able to come down and you're able to extend quite far, that's great. You might want to take, again, some towels or some pillows or blankets to stack yourself up on. Alternatively, you may not have much depth in this pose today, and that has to be okay. Just take a moment to let yourself be wherever you're at. Maybe even using your arms to support your upper body if you're beginning to feel weak. Remember that this posture isn't about going so deep that you have this incredible feat of yogic contortionism. The purpose of this pose is to be in your body, to feel what it's like to be here now, and to work with what you have. Breathing here, noticing what it's like to be in this posture. We'll come back onto our backs now. With the knees bent and the feet flat on the floor, you're going to want to remove any blankets or towels that are supporting your body. Go ahead and find yourself with your palms facing down and just stepping the feet back ever so slightly so that the feet are only a hip's width apart and the feet don't need to be pressing right up against the buttocks, but you want to step the feet in ever so slightly. With the knees bent, laying flat on your back, let's go ahead and check in with our neck, make sure that we're protecting the neck here. So you may want to just lift your head up, lengthen through your neck, then place the head back down. With the palms flat down on the ground, beginning with the pelvis, I'm going to invite you to inhale and begin to lift the body up off the ground, putting weight into your heels. And lifting slowly, vertebrae by vertebrae. Take the full length of your inhale and your exhale. Once you reach the top of this posture with your body off the mat, notice if there's a place where you go a little too far and you start putting pressure on your neck. If you get there, take some of the pressure off. Come back down a little. Taking a full breath here. On your next exhale, come down slowly, dropping vertebrae by vertebrae. Remembering that yoga isn't about simply achieving a posture, it's about the journey of working through the postures, connecting your breath with your movement, and being mindful, being present of how that moves in your body. One more time. Let's engage in this little bit of a back bend here. Pressing into the heels to inhale, lifting the pelvis off the ground, and slow, vertebrae by vertebrae, take the full length of your inhale to lift off of the ground. If it's accessible to you, you may wish to inch the elbows in underneath the body, maybe even interlacing the fingers, pressing down through the forearms and elbows. And notice if that helps give you a little bit more stability or strength to lift through the posture. Or notice if it's an invitation for your mind to be like, yeah, I can really crank myself in here. Just pause and notice what your mind does with this adjustment of playing around with your arms under your body. Breathing here, wiggle the toes. Being thankful for our toes. Wiggle the fingers. On your next exhale, if your fingers are interlaced under your body, moving the hands out from under the body, dropping down vertebrae by vertebrae until you come flat down onto the mat. And this time you are going to need a wall, so please find a space that is free of any obstructions. You're going to need a floor that's free and a wall. You don't need a vast space. What we're going to do is have our legs up the wall into our final inversion, our last pose of this practice. Now, my favorite way to get into a legs up the wall is to have myself come and sit right against the wall, so with my hip against the wall. With my legs crossed, I then make my way onto my back and then working my legs up the wall. This way I don't find myself trying to scooch closer and closer to the wall. My butt is right up against the wall, and I can then move myself away from the wall to take off any tension off my back, or to stay up nice and close against the wall if that's feeling right. So, getting in nice and close to the wall with your left hip against the wall, you may wish to have your legs crossed, making your way onto your back, turning your legs up the wall. And from here, experiment with keeping the legs bent, your feet on the wall, or pressing through your heels, the legs come nice and long as the legs are supported by the wall. And if you notice any tension, or you feel your body sort of like an accordion being bunched up against the wall, that's probably not a good thing. Maybe just sort of inch yourself away from the wall, but I use that term carefully. Inch yourself. You don't really need to pull yourself far away from the wall. This posture is about having the back flat on the ground and the legs going up the wall, so we can enjoy an inversion here. Inversions are a really big foundational part of yoga practices and how we start to cool down and end our practice. You may wish to have the arms splayed out. Maybe experiment with having your hands crossed over the belly, or cactusing the arms onto the ground. And noticing any tingling sensations in the feet as the blood makes its way down. Maybe wiggle your toes. If you notice any low back pain, you may wish to grab a blanket or towel and place it underneath the low back, folding it, and experimenting with different heights, seeing what's right for your body. And if you have mobility issues, and the best that you're able to do right now is to move over towards the wall, get on your back, but you're not able to extend your legs, can that be okay? Maybe getting some distance from the wall and just having your knees bent with your feet flat against the wall and enjoying as much of an inversion as you can have in this time, in this space. There is no need for your yoga practice to look a specific way. This is about your body. Your yoga practice can be as variable as you are. Just taking a moment here, enjoying the sensations of being in this inversion. Breathing in, noticing distractions. Let's make our way back down onto the ground. We're going to get into a supine posture called Shavasana. Here in this Shavasana posture, maybe lift your head up, lengthen through the spine, and then place your head back down on the floor. Allow yourself to feel your body being supported by the earth. And notice any places that you may be carrying tension. A place that I oftentimes carry tension, even though it's not going to help me through a single damn yoga posture, is in my jaw. I notice myself clenching my teeth and tightness in my jaw. So I'm going to consciously, as I'm sharing this practice with you right now, I'm actually going to make an effort to just allow the muscles around my jaw to relax, knowing that it's not going to help me teach you some of these foundational yoga postures today. Allowing your arms to go heavy. If your knees are bent, just allowing your feet to press down into the ground, allowing any tension to drop out of the shoulders and out of the back. Wherever you find yourself in this Shavasana posture, just find some stillness. Breathe. Be with your body. Notice what it feels like to be in this posture. As we begin to end this practice, pause for a moment and reconnect with what it is that's important to you about doing this yoga challenge. And whatever shows up, my invitation to you is to be present to it. You may wish to maintain this posture for a few minutes after this video ends, but I'm going to take this opportunity to say thank you so much for participating in this practice. The light in me acknowledges and bows to the light in you. Namaste. Don't forget to hit the like button. It's super reinforcing to me. It makes me want to make more of these videos. Hit subscribe and the bell icon to keep updated on these videos so that you don't miss any of them. And definitely share this with people in your world, because you never know who's going to benefit from this 30-day yoga challenge. Thank you so much. Namaste.